Okay, so we are recording. So welcome to our Sunday night team call. I am Kendall Boyd, Emerald Ambassador. I'm so excited you guys were able to make it. Tonight we have Jami Mays. She is a Diamond Ambassador. I have stalked this woman for years, even though I might be creeping her out by saying that, but I have, because she's incredible. If you guys are not Facebook friends with her, go follow her on Facebook. She has great posts. She has great ideas. She's an awesome leader. She's very upbeat. You guys are going to be inspired by her. So I begged her to come on our team call tonight, and she was very sweet and agreed to do it. So I cannot wait for her to share her story and just her top business tips with you guys. So Jami, go ahead. You can take it away, girl.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for having me. First of all, it's an honor. I'm excited to share with you guys my story and let you know that it does not matter how fast or how slow you move through the ranks. Some people go super fast and some people go slow. And I love that about my story because you often see so many jewels that fly through the ranks really quick from the minute that they sign up. That wasn't the case for me. It actually took me about 6 months to even hit the rank of silver. So I want to back up a little bit, kind of tell you why I even started Plexus, so you can get to know my story a little bit better. Before Plexus, my husband and I were in a situation financially that was very stressful. We were living paycheck to paycheck. When I say that, that's really an understatement. We literally were not making enough money every month to cover the cost of our bills coming in. So my husband would sneak in like advanced payday loans and not tell me about them, probably because I'd freak out on him about it. But we got pregnant really young with my first son, and I was in college and I was super sick in my first trimester. So I ended up dropping my classes. And I was a full-time waitress, which if you can imagine being pregnant and hormonal and morning sickness, like they don't go well together. So I actually ended up quitting my job too. So I'm, pregnant, jobless, and just dropped out of college. Not my fondest moment, but I wouldn't trade it for the world to get to where I am today. But we decided that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom because I didn't have any real work experience besides waiting tables and working at a daycare center. And financially for us, it didn't make sense for me to go to work to send my son to daycare and not have any money left over at the end of the month. So we just lived paycheck to paycheck, pinched pennies, robbed Peter to pay Paul. I mean, we literally had to time our bills as to when we were going to pay what bill to make sure that we didn't overdraft, even though we did many, many times. So I'd done other network marketing companies before. I swore them off. I did not enjoy hosting parties and begging my friends to buy products that I couldn't even afford to buy. I hated that. I hated being away from my family, all the plethora of products in my house. It was just not for me. So I swore it out. I'm never going to do it again. I worked part-time at a bridal boutique for a while. I did crafting stuff on the side and sold it on Facebook. Anything I could do to kind of help make some extra money. So when I heard about Plexus, at first I was super skeptical, probably like most of us are, wanted nothing to do with it. I grew up being an athlete. So I thought, being healthy, all you have to do is eat right and exercise and you'll lose weight. And at the time I thought Plexus was just a weight loss company. So I rolled my eyes at it. But I sat back and watched Nikki Hinkle. For a few months, we are friends from church. We go to the same church and we were in small group together. Our kids played together, did life together. And so I trusted her. I thought she was a little crazy at first. But when she started posting those Plexus payday posts that we all love to share, it intrigued me. And the amount of money that I assumed she was making kind of blew my mind because she'd only been doing it for a short while. And so I asked her, I'm like, all right, what is up with this Plexus stuff? She shows me her paycheck because back then we had like the paper stubs that they actually mailed you. We've come a long way. But so she showed me her pay stub and I was floored because you guys know how awesome our comp plan is. And so I decided, all right, I'm going to do this. Well, at the time I was 6 months pregnant with our second son. And I wasn't taking the products because at the time I didn't know I could. I thought it was just, Slim Accelerator weight loss. I knew nothing about the triplex. And so I got my husband on the products. So he took the products and I started the business. And my goal initially was to make enough money to cover like groceries, to have a date night because we didn't ever get those. We couldn't afford them. We couldn't afford a babysitter. To be able to do that and maybe get my hair done when it wasn't my birthday or Mother's Day, because those were like the only 2 times I ever got my hair done, and it was my gift from my husband. So in the first few months, I was able to do that. I had customers, and I had a couple extra $100 a month, which was great. It was life-changing for us at that moment in time. And let's fast forward about 6 months. December rolls around, and at this point, I'd lost all my customers. I had one ambassador on my team that Nikki actually gifted me because she was a mutual friend of ours from church. So this girl was on my team, but she wasn't really working the business. Guys, I did not know what I was doing. I'm just going to be straight up and honest with y'all. And I lost all those customers. My auto qual went through. We really could not afford to buy the products that month because it was Christmas and we were trying to give Christmas to our sons. And so I was so down and defeated. I felt so defeated. And these things started running through my head, like, why did I ever think that I could be successful in this? You know, I've never been successful at anything in the past. And I started thinking, I don't deserve to be successful because I don't have a degree. I don't have any sales experience. Like, I was making all of these excuses for myself, which I now know are lies from the enemy. But at the time, I was just playing mind games with myself. And then I found out about Super Saturday in January. And I told myself, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to give it a shot, see what happens one last time. And so I go to Super Saturday, and that changed everything for me. I realized that I was doing so much wrong. Like, I think I probably posted the most salesy, spammy ads on Facebook you can think of in the beginning. And I'm not even sure how I got the first few customers that I got off of them. And I didn't know how to present the business opportunity before Super Saturday. And I learned all that there. And it was almost like this light bulb went off. Like, oh my gosh, I've been doing it all wrong. Like, I can actually do this. And I remember going to lunch with Nikki afterwards. She had just signed a new girl who is now an Emerald. And we went to lunch with her. And this girl was like, oh, I'm going to be diamond. I'm going to do this. I'm all in. I'm doing this now. And I'm sitting back here going, well, I'm not going to let this new girl go straight to the top and me be left behind. So it was really kind of cool because her and I somewhat became sideline sister power partners and got to build the business together, which was really fun. So that was the moment that I drew my line in the sand. Like, you have to have that moment in your business where you stop everything and you decide, I am going to do this no matter what. And that month, Nikki hit Emerald. So we all know at Emerald, you get your Lexus and 6-figure income and get to go to Hawaii. And I'm not even silver yet. And at that point, didn't even have a paycheck that month because I had no customers left and one ambassador. And so I started thinking to myself, like, okay, what is it that Nikki has that I don't have? Like, why is she able to be successful? Like, I know her. She's done 1 million network marketing companies in the past too and failed at all of those as well. And, you know, she's got 4 kids and her husband travels. And I know that they were struggling financially too. I knew all these things about her. And then I started thinking, okay, well, what is it that all of these other jewels in this company have that I don't have? And, you know, just from watching their stories, most of them have never even done network marketing before. A lot of them stay-at-home moms. A lot of them work full-time. And so it's not like they come from this background of network marketing. And so all those excuses that I was making for myself were just that, excuses. And I realized that the only thing stopping me was belief in myself. Because for all these years, I struggled with not believing in myself and not thinking that I deserved success. And so that was kind of my turning point. I did a complete 180 and I started fully believing in myself. I started doing the work. Like, you can't just wish to be Emerald. You know, you can't wish to be Diamond. You actually have to put work behind it. And so from that moment on, I started listening to every YouTube video I could get my hands on. Back then it was Sarah Marvel, Sonia Dudley, and Lori Harrison. Like, that was pretty much all we had back then. And good thing for you guys, there's like a million YouTube channels out there now. But I did that every chance that I got. So I had, you know, a young baby at home and a 5 or 6 year old at the time. And so life was busy, but I didn't make excuses. I was done making excuses for myself because I knew that my family needed this. So I would find time either while I was cooking dinner or bathing the kids or sitting in carpool line to be listening to these videos in the background. I was multitasking every chance I got. I started reading books on network marketing because clearly I knew nothing about what I was doing. And I really needed to become like a student of network marketing. And I often like to compare it to, you know, being a real estate agent. If you want to become a real estate agent, you can't just decide, okay, I'm going to go list a house and try to sell it. You have to go and learn how to sell a home and all the rules and everything that go with it. It's the same thing with network marketing. If you've never done it before, then you need to take the time to learn all the little tips and tricks that go along with network marketing. So sorry, I kind of just like went off on a tangent there. But anyways, so I hit silver that very next month after I drew my line in the sand. And I was so excited. And I got some runners on my team that really wanted this. And the next month I went gold. The following month I went senior gold. The next month I went ruby. And then 2 months after that, I went senior ruby. Like our team was in full momentum. And obviously I didn't know what that was like before. And I barely had time to even breathe. It was really awesome. And then we got stuck at senior ruby. And that was probably, I think it was about 7 months that I was sitting at senior ruby. It was the worst summer ever. Oh my gosh, it was the dreaded summer. I think that was 2014. Yeah, it was a bad summer. A lot of things out of our control. I was lucky that my points didn't decline. We were never going backwards, but we just weren't growing at the same rate that we had been. So that was discouraging. But in those times, I realized that, okay, I have this huge team under me and I'm not even really sure what to do with them at this point. So it was a really good time for me to actually learn how to be a leader. And so now my focus was more on being a leader and doing John Maxwell trainings with my team, the 21 Irrefutable Laws. We would do weekly calls over that book with my leaders. And I did several groups of those, and just any kind of leadership conference I could go to, I was there. I was hungry to become a better leader and get out of this stagnant period of our business. So 7 months into this, we get a level 2. Her name is Amy Welch. She's a sapphire now, and she's amazing. And she was our very first Fast Start Gold on our team. And I mean, talk about crazy momentum coming back. That was so exciting when you have someone do that. Then people like have this belief again, and they want to do it too. They want to sign someone that does it too. And Amy signed Michelle Collins, who's the senior ruby now, and she went Fast Start Gold. And then Michelle Fast Start Gold, her husband, underneath her as well. Like, it was nuts. I've never seen anything like it. They are all under Sarah Taylor, and she has, if you guys were at Leaders Retreat, she has over 30 something people that have gone Fast Start Gold under her team, which is crazy. So when that momentum comes, it comes and you run with it. But it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter how long you're stagnant. Like, you can't let that get you down or beat you down. There's gonna be a moment where somebody does get it. And it's like signing, you know, I talked to a girl the other night on a team call who has over 30 level 1s, and none of them, like, they say they want to work the business, but they're not really doing anything, but she's doing everything right. And my advice to her was, keep doing what you're doing. Just because those people aren't getting it doesn't mean that the person you sign next week won't. And that's just kind of how it is, like, with network marketing. I mean, I actually wish I knew the amount of level 1s that I have, a lot over the last 3 years. And a small handful of them are actually working the business. So just know that that's normal. It's normal that not everybody wants this. We still love our wholesale ambassadors. So anyway, so once Amy came to our team and that momentum hit again, I hit Emerald, that far-fetched goal that I never, ever thought that I would hit. Let me tell you guys, when I signed up for Plexus and I heard about the car program, I was the girl that said, oh, that's cool, but that will never be me. that was how I talked to myself. And no wonder I was not successful. I just did not believe it. So that was insane for me for that to happen. And then 2 months later, I hit Sapphire. And then 2 months after that, I hit Diamond. So it's like your business just goes in waves sometimes. And you can't ride the roller coaster of emotion like Melissa Eichenhorst says. You just can't in this business. You have to stay level. You're going to have peaks and valleys, and you just have to push through them. I wouldn't trade my journey for the world, and we've been through a lot. But the amount of personal growth, the amount of spiritual growth that has happened in my life over the last 3 years, it's insane to me. And it's just really cool to see the puzzle pieces that God's putting together and slowly revealing to me as time goes by as to what the bigger purpose is for this business, for my family and I. So that's kind of my story. I wanted to give you guys just a couple of tips. I'm really, really big on belief, if you couldn't tell from my story. But there's 4 things that you really have to have belief in this business in order to be successful. And you have to have all 4. You can't just have 1 or 2 of them. The first is belief in our products. Kind of a no-brainer, but there are so many people that, get into this business and life happens and they start forgetting to take their products and they're not consistent with their products, and all of a sudden the products aren't working, and you're out of alignment in your business because you aren't taking your products correctly. And if you're not taking your products correctly and consistently, then you're not seeing results, and you don't have that passion and that drive that you had when you first did. And people can see that, and it's really hard to sell something that you aren't passionate about and don't believe in. So that's the first thing that you have to have belief in, is our products. The next thing is our compensation plan. And I hope you guys can grasp how insanely amazing our compensation plan is. I don't know how long each of you have been with the business here, but it can be a little bit gibberish at first trying to understand it. But I suggest getting to know the compensation plan if you don't know it, because that's how you're going to be able to sell the opportunity to people is by saying how different it is from other network marketing companies and how easy it is to earn income with Plexus. Like, it's crazy, y'all. And the amount of ways that we get paid and the profit sharing, I've never seen anything like it. And for somebody to come in with like myself, no college degree, no real work experience, no sales experience, to be able to reach the top rank in this company in 2 years is insane. Like, there's something to this. So you have to have belief in our compensation plan. The next thing is having belief in our executive team and the company as a whole. And I know that kind of comes with time. The more you're with the company and are around the executives, I totally get that. But from somebody who's been in the company for 3 years, I hope that you can take something from me, that I wholeheartedly believe in this company and our executive team. We have been through a lot in 3 years. If you guys have been around for a while and we're around this past year with the back office stuff, the shipping issues, there's always going to be something when you're growing a business this amazing, this huge, the amount of growth that we're having, we're always going to have these ups and downs. But I've never doubted that they would be there for us. They hurt when we hurt. They cheer for us when we succeed. If you ever get the chance to go to corporate and visit and do a tour, I highly recommend it. Like, if I wasn't an ambassador for Plexus and I lived in Phoenix, I'd want to work there. Like, it's so cool, like the camaraderie there, and you walk through all the offices and everybody has a different award on their desk or a trophy of some sort. Every Friday they do a spin wheel. They'll draw a couple of names and they get to spin the big wheel, and they give away gift cards and prizes. And when people were trying to re-rank up for the re-rank incentive, they have like a big board with people's names on it. And anytime somebody would re-rank, they would ring a bell and everybody would cheer. Like, it's amazing, guys. Like, I've never seen something like that before. And I've been with several other companies, network marketing. And I've just never seen that kind of like family feel. Like it really is like one big family. Like there's something to this hashtag one Plexus thing. It's amazing. So if you don't yet see it yourself, I hope that you take my word for it for now until you do get to see it yourself, that they are incredible. And then the last thing that you need to believe in is yourself. And that's the most important thing. And I hope you just heard from my story of what happens when you don't believe in yourself, and then what can happen when you do, when you finally draw your line in the sand. And then, I wholeheartedly believe that you need to believe in something bigger than yourself. And, I'm not going to tell you what you need to believe in. Mine is very clearly Jesus Christ. And I know I wouldn't be where I am without him. And it's so cool to see how much he's done, the people that he's put in my life, the organizations, the ministries, like everything that lines up. It's like I'm getting it. I'm getting the bigger picture, the bigger purpose. And I tell my team all the time, guys, I want you to realize that this opportunity sitting in front of you is bigger than you can even imagine. We often like to put God in a box on what he's capable of doing, and it's just not, like, you can't. Like, he has far exceeded my expectations with this business and everything that comes with it. The lives that have changed, the friendships that have grown, the people, like I said, the ministries. I went to Africa this summer, which is never, ever was even a thought in my mind. Okay, I'm anxiety girl right here. Okay, panic attacks and anxiety, and I flew all the way to Africa by myself. Like, it's just crazy what God has done through my business and through my personal growth. And then 2 more tips for you guys. I know y'all try to keep these calls short, so I don't want to keep y'all forever. It's just pouring into your top 20%, pouring into your runners. It's so easy to get frustrated with the team members that say they want it, but then they don't show it. They aren't doing the work, and you want it for them. You can't want it for them. And I've learned that the hard way many times. You have to focus on the ones that do want it and that do need your attention and want your attention. That's where you need to pour your energy into. Same thing with white lines. Like, I have so many girls like, how do I get my white lines back? Honey, don't focus on the white lines. Go get new ambassadors that are hungry for this. Most of the time, those people have made up their minds that this isn't for them. Now, that's not always the case. I do have the occasional white line that comes back. But that's just not where I want you to focus your energy. Focus on the top 20%. Still love on the other 80%. Still love on your wholesale ambassadors. Still check in with them as if they were a customer, because we do need and love our wholesalers. They're a big part of our business too. And then the very last thing and this is something I'm super passionate about, especially even when you first join this company, is finding ways to expand your network, because you are going to run through your warm market. And then it's almost like you have a standstill, because now you've got to go and try to find new people. But if you are constantly trying to find new ways to expand your network, it's going to pay off in the long run. And, things that I've done are join mommy groups. Actually, the majority of my runners on my team are from a mom's group that I joined years ago. But I'm a stay-at-home mom, so that's what works for me, is doing something like that. Bible study groups, wine groups, bunko groups, mops. There's so many different things. There's so many Facebook groups out there now. You don't even have to have FaceTime with people. If you are a busy working mom or dad, like, you can find time online. You can find these groups, get involved in there, and start friending people on Facebook. Anytime that Sarah Robbins does a holiday webinar every year, and I just watched her most recent one, and she talks about going to every holiday event that you're invited to, not making excuses not to go, but actually getting some FaceTime, because we're network marketers, so we have to constantly be networking. That's our job. And meeting new people, whether or rekindling old friendships with people that you haven't seen in a while, but you get to see them at the holiday party. But meeting new people and actually, like, getting to know them while you're there, not spewing Plexus on them, not even bringing up Plexus unless it naturally comes up, but just getting to know people, meeting new friends, and then adding them to your Facebook network. Because that's probably where the majority of us network our business is on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So we want to be adding them to our social media outlet, whatever we're using. So those are my tips for you. Hopefully they were useful and help get through, just November and December before we kick off a new year in January. I don't know if y'all do question and answers.
Yes. Well, so first, thank you so much for being on here. I love your story because I think you're very similar to Heather. So for those that maybe missed it, so Heather's my cousin. Heather's my upline. Heather signed Nikki Hinkle, who is Jamie's upline. Okay. And Heather was kind of the same as you, and she took some, a few months to kind of get things going, and it took her a while to even hit the first rank. I don't even think she started working her business for a few months, but for her, it was finding that person who then you could become power partners with, and that's what created that momentum. And so, I just love your story of it doesn't have to be this, be a Celeste Gwynn and become a diamond in like however many months she did it. Who knows? It's ridiculous, and I feel like so many of us, like when I joined Heather was Emerald in 10 months. And so in my mindset, if you were not Emerald in 10 months, you were a failure. Like, she just knew a lot of people who had such quick success with this. But guys, I'm telling you now, if it takes you 10 years to get there, it is going to be worth it. It is. And you're going to learn so much, you're going to grow so much, and you're going to meet so many people. And say you add 30 people to your team and then you quit because those people are quitting, and then the 31st person was the person that was going to be your rock star, and you quit before you get them. You've missed out on so much that was in store for you because you didn't draw your line in the sand and decide no matter how long it takes, I'm going to do it. So I love that. I love that your story speaks to all of that. My one question is there like one thing that you really feel for your team was like the thing that kind of helped people grow their businesses? I know a lot of teams do Facebook parties. Some teams is in-home launch parties. There's, like we have been big on IPA sheets. IPA sheets have been incredible. I have like 12 people I'm sending samples to tomorrow because of my daily IPA sheet I'm doing. So has there been one thing that's worked really well for your team?
I think three-way calls have been amazing for our team. And I know that it can be scary, but it's so worth it just to get that third-party validation. I know I have one really strong leg that is what they live and breathe on. And I think that's why they're so successful is getting out of their comfort zone and getting on a three-way with everyone. As soon as you sign, a new ambassador and they have somebody that's interested, get on a call with them. And then doing new ambassador three-way calls. As soon as they do sign up, then you get on with your sponsor and y'all train them together and help get them excited from the get-go. Not waiting, like don't wait a week or two, like within the first 24 to 48 hours, getting on a phone call with them. I think that's really been a game changer for our team.
Yeah. And for those that haven't done one, so we've done quite a few three-way calls, but I have a handful of people that are willing to do them. For those that haven't done them, you don't say like, hey, so-and-so, can you get on a three-way call with my upline? Like, that's not how you do it because that's intimidating and sounds a little hokey and salesy. You just tell them like, hey, I told my friend about you and I asked her if she'd hop on the phone with us tonight for like 10 minutes. And I just want her to help to steer you in the right direction, answer some of your questions. It's very natural. It's not something that needs to be this hokey sales thing. But yes, three-way calls have been incredible. And I'm telling you, those that do them, it has been so helpful. So those of you who are here that have not done them with me, we need to make a date with the phone and your potentials. So, well, awesome, girl. Thank you so much for getting on here. I just loved hearing your full story. I've only seen, the snippets from my stalking you on Facebook. So I appreciate it so much. I'm going to stop the recording real quick. Hang on, guys.